Oh, yes.
It's episode 007.
Episode 007.
That's why we had a little different intro there.
Yeah.
But
Bond.
that's because spies. 007's a spy.
Is that why?
Yeah, and that was the spy music.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
All right, we're back.
I don't think I get it.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Probably nobody else does either.
Yeah.
This is episode 7 of the Fill in the Blank podcast.
It sure is. Life after film school.
I thought you almost missed your
No,
mark right
I'm
there.
on top of it. I was just changing it up a bit.
So we're here with more podcast, and we forgot to tease the subject of this episode.
We did.
Which is a good thing, because then we decided to change the subject of the
Yes.
episode midweek.
Uh-huh.
So I don't even remember what it was going to be.
I do.
Okay, good, because we're going to have that be next episode.
I got it ready to go for the end.
Okay, good. But this episode, what we're going to do is a summer movie preview.
That's right, giving you a look ahead to see what is happening.
I like your radio broadcaster voice that you just do every now and then. That's right.
Show you what is happening.
72 degrees in Huntington Beach.
It sure isn't. It's hot as hell in here.
So, yeah, we're going to kind of go through what's coming out this summer, what our thoughts are on those, and then hopefully you will reply with your thoughts.
We know you won't,
Which is why I'm going to continue to reinforce my campaign
Yes.
for everyone to like Facebook.
Yes.
And I'm adding another task to that campaign.
Just so you know, some of our close supporters have been rebroadcasting our Facebook and tweets all over the place. So
I know.
We need to make sure that we continue to
Yes.
put up questions.
Yes. Thank you to everyone who's helping get the word out.
Yes,
So that's
thank
my other task, is go ahead and tell someone who you think might like this about
Tell someone who you think might hate it, too.
Yes.
Just tell someone.
Just tell someone. But only someone who you think will actually try and listen, even if you think they'll hate it.
Yeah. That's fine.
That's fine. And then also Stitcher, of course. Mobile listeners
That's
who
right.
like to
For those
stream
of
things.
you on the go.
Go to Stitcher. Go that route. And so get on the Facebook.
Please.
Jesus. I'm looking at the numbers of people listening, and I'm looking at the number of likes on Facebook, and they are not lining up at all.
Oh, we're getting a lot more listens than likes.
Yes. Yes. The listening.
Well, at least they're listening.
The listenership is building. The Facebook ship is staying stagnant, and that is not okay with me.
All right, guys, cast off
Now,
the anchor on the Facebook ship.
Some of these people may be like me, who were like, I hate Facebook for decades.
Right, that's how I was.
But just
Yeah,
give
we're
up.
dragging you
Just
into the
give up.
21st
Just
century. Just
do all the privacy filters you need to do.
Yeah.
And give up.
And just do what I do. You go on there when you need to, and don't check in any other time.
All right. So what's been going on with you this week?
Well, first of all, I wanted to put in an addendum to our Roger Ebert
Oh, okay.
tribute that we did last week.
Yes.
And I found a quote. It was actually in one of his books. I was at Barnes & Noble. I'm just going to go ahead and say Barnes & Noble.
That's fine.
And I was just looking through one of his books, and he had a quote in there that I thought, that's what we were trying to say in one sentence.
Okay.
He summed up, actually, he was talking about his friend Gene Siskel, but saying how Gene Siskel to him represented the perfect film critic, and he always tried to emulate this because, and this is the quote, Gene Siskel used to say, I'm a newsman first, because he considered himself a journalist before he considered himself a film critic. So he said, I'm a newsman first, then a film critic. So before I can share my opinion, I have to share the news. And I thought that pretty much sums up how I feel like Roger Ebert was. He would tell you his opinion and stuff, but first and foremost, it was about the news.
Yeah.
And I think if more film critics
I like
kind of
that.
treated it like that, it would be a better system.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to throw that quote out there. I thought that was a great thing to live by. And I would like to start the campaign that you and I should become the new Siskel and Ebert.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to start writing things.
Yeah.
We could do that though.
I think that's a good idea. Because now there's no one left. It's just you and me.
That's true.
I think we should do it.
There is someone. We need to have someone who tells people, listen, I know it's not the best thing ever, but you sure are gonna enjoy it.
Right. And no one's doing that.
Yeah.
I think we got to be those guys.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay.
All right. Should we start our?
Yes, and actually a nice little.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Because it could be its own thing, but I'm claiming it's the topic of the day.
What? Oh, yeah.
Our
It is.
thing.
It is the topic of the day.
Okay.
Boy, we got your topic today. Topic today to tell you.
See, I just wanted to hear that really even though this is somewhat of a special episode.
It is. Our topic today is a summer movie review.
Yeah.
That's right. We're going to tell you what to look forward to. What's coming, what's going.
Yeah.
What's in, what's out.
And I realize this, even though you don't have this in your materials in front of you, because our summer movie preview materials are really beginning with May, which is generally considered the start of the summer movie season. However, this last week, Oblivion, which we'll probably have a report on in our next episode.
Absolutely.
I'm going to have seen it.
Me too. And Oblivion, I feel like that's the first one. Yeah. We're starting now. With the big ones of the summer. Now, just kind of related to what we were talking about before. We are going off of Entertainment Weekly.
Yes,
they have a nice little list.
Just lists of all the movies coming out what week. Yeah.
But I happened to peruse the whole magazine before this episode. Two things stood out to me.
Okay.
One, in the preview for that Black Flag, because they had a little thing in there about it.
Yeah.
They were like, and with this mysterious pirate woman named Anne. And she's wearing a little hat. She's clearly Anne Bonny, the pirate. Yeah. For those of you who know anything about pirate history, one of the few really notable female pirates.
Yeah.
And they were acting like, oh, who knows who this Anne character is?
I do, because
why are you writing for a magazine if you don't know Jack?
You couldn't have looked that up. Was there a pirate named Anne?
Right. and it was confirmed for me just 3 pages later when they were like, oh, Superman is a big guy. He can do whatever he wants, stuff like that. And if because he's invincible, he's hard to relate to. I mean, even if he doesn't like the way something turns out, he can, as we saw in 1981, Superman 2, turn the world around and make it. And I was like, guys, that was Superman 1.
It was Superman 1. I thought that when I read it, I was like, wait. Isn't that 1? And then I went, maybe I just don't know my old Superman.
No, I do know my old Superman. And that's the end of Superman 1. And I'm like, you are an entertainment magazine. And I hate to be that guy, that nerd who's just like...
you got it wrong. I'm going to write it.
That was Superman 1.
Yeah.
But it was Superman 1.
Well, you got to get your facts right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Let me refer to what I said earlier. I'm a journalist first, and a film critic second.
That's right.
Okay?
And this person, they're just reporting.
Yeah.
Like, they're not
even
criticizing. They're just telling you this happened, but I couldn't get it right.
But, right. And I understand you may have to go back and print a retraction, but I guess I expect more fact-checking than that.
Yeah.
My wife, when I told her about this, she's like, don't they have editors over there? And I was like, I'm sure they do, but I don't know. It just seemed like such a glaring, obvious mistake. If you're coming here, and their tone is very glib to begin with. Yeah. They tend to be like, hey, no. So when they make a mistake, I feel even more like, gotcha. And that may not be fair, but
it might not be, but
that's how I feel. Like if you're going to start out being glib, then when you make a mistake, it's like, ha ha.
Well, because there's at least 2 people responsible for this: the editor and the person who wrote it.
And I'm guessing more than that.
Probably another editor in between, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not good. So yeah, I think Oblivion is the big movie last weekend.
Yeah.
But there's another weekend prior to getting into the May movies that I happen to have the list of right here.
Okay.
And I think the big movie that weekend is Pain and Gain.
Michael Bay's new film.
Where are you on this?
I'm not opposed to it. I can't say I'm super excited. I like everybody in the cast. It's Mark Wahlberg, The Rock, or Dwayne Johnson. Sorry, I know he likes.
I think Tony Shalhoub.
Tony Shalhoub is fantastic, and Anthony Burgess, right? No,
Anthony Mackie.
Anthony Burgess wrote A Clockwork Orange.
Ed Harris is in it. Yes.
Once again, I've confusing actors
completely with writers. Ed Harris, Rob Corddry.
Mm-hmm.
So that Ken Jeong guy from the Hangover movies.
Oh right, and Community.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ken Jeong.
It depends on the role.
Yeah, but I admire his commitment.
Yeah.
Because he jumps in like 150%.
Yeah. I was not that excited about this movie, but now I'm actually hearing like some good stuff about it, which is unusual for a Michael Bay movie.
I'm sure it'll be a good time.
I was like, I think I'll enjoy it because I think Mark Wahlberg and The Rock could be pretty funny together.
Yeah.
The part that I'm hesitant about is like, especially on like, now here's where I will actually say something about Michael Bay. Like, especially on a Michael Bay movie, don't start with based on a true story.
Yeah.
Like, and it's going to.
Oh yeah.
Because it is like based somehow on a true story.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing that Michael Bay directs should say based on a true story.
Yeah.
And that's not neither here nor there. That's not
even Pearl Harbor shouldn't have that.
Right. It doesn't. So
right.
That should tell you something.
That should tell you something.
But yeah, so but I don't know. you know, if I feel like I want to go, that's probably what I'd see next weekend if there's nothing else.
Yeah,
'Cause
what
the other
just-
movies, The Big Wedding with Robert De Niro and Diane Keaton.
No, okay.
A movie called Mud with Matthew McConaughey and Reese Witherspoon. I don't know anything about that movie.
Yeah, I'm not a big McConaughey fan.
96% of critics liked it, according to Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, I'm sure it's great.
It says it's an adventure about two boys who find a man named Mud hiding out on an island in Mississippi. Well, I'm sure that's Matthew McConaughey,
Yeah.
because that way he can do his accent. And then he describes fantastic scenarios and stuff like that.
No.
Oh, his visions become true and stuff.
Oh.
It might be
right.
interesting.
Sure.
That Kon-Tiki, but that was an Academy Award one. It's
Yeah.
just finally coming out now. That's a foreign film. The Numbers Station with John Cusack and Malin Ackerman. I don't know anything about that either.
don't know
I'm like,
anything
why
about that.
aren't these movies?
Well, I mean, I've seen something.
They
about
must not
this.
be good. That
Well-
one's about a CIA mission that's gone wrong.
See, that sounds like something I want to see.
Yeah. Then here's another one with stars that you're going to be like, well, I don't know about this movie. At Any Price with Zac Efron and Dennis Quaid. That one is
Yeah, and I'm not as opposed to Zac Efron as a lot of people are.
somebody with a rebellious son and a farming empire.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. The Reluctant Fundamentalist with Kate Hudson and Kiefer Sutherland.
Okay.
Princeton Graduate. It's a 9/11 movie.
Oh,
Love Is All You Need with Pierce Brosnan.
I have heard about this one.
I've heard about that one too. That one's getting pretty good Rotten Tomato action.
All right, so it sounds like there's a number of things coming out.
Yeah, and then this other Colin Firth and Emily Blunt movie called Arthur Newman, which I have also heard about.
I have not.
But it's not been reviewed yet, so...
We'll have to wait and see on that one.
Yeah, but so anyway, so there's actually a number of... No, like, I think Pain and Gain is the one that's vying for the box office win as a summer-type movie.
Yeah.
But it sounds like there's some pretty good movies coming out.
Well, I'm sure Pain and Gain will be
Or
hilarious
at least
in
some
moments.
good actors. Yeah.
Because, that's Michael Bay's
And they'll
favorite
look
thing.
fantastic.
Oh, and of course. That's
Yeah.
what he does best.
Yeah.
It'll look amazing. There'll be some cool action. Mark Wahlberg will do his, hey, what's going on here?
Hey, guys.
Guys, what are you talking
That's
about?
crazy.
What are you talking about? We can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they will do it.
They'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that looks like something that could be good. And yeah, it sounds like at least as far as people involved, there's some other good movies coming out that weekend.
Yeah.
We'll see how they turn out, but some of
It
them
doesn't seem like
it
it does seem like Pain and Gain is going to take the crown. Though.
take the crown unless Oblivion can stays really strong,
right, which
which
could.
is possible. But you can definitely tell by that lineup. Okay, we're not quite at the full summer.
Right.
In fact, Oblivion, they're probably smart to come out this week because
It'll give them a few weeks.
they'll
head
give them
start.
2
Yeah.
weeks to get a bunch of money. So May 3rd is the real start of the summer.
Right.
And I think that Iron Man would be the
Iron Man 3.
big movie that weekend.
Right. Real quickly, what else is coming out?
Yeah.
Generation. Greeting from Tim Buckley. The Iceman. The Iceman I have heard about just because that's Michael Shannon. It's his other
Yeah.
movie of this summer. We'll get to his other one.
Yeah.
But he's playing like a hitman. He is. The
Oh, okay,
Iceman.
I haven't heard about that. Oh no, they have All You Need Is Love coming out. That's probably wide. It's probably coming out small release this weekend.
Right, and then and then Scatter My Ashes of Bergdorf's a documentary on fashion and stuff like that.
Okay.
And What Maisie Knew. Julianne Moore, Alexander Skarsgård. I'm sure it's fantastic.
I know what she knew.
Well,
You don't want to know.
you don't want to know. But Iron Man 3, I think, is the big one.
Yeah, where are you at on this?
I'm gonna go see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it, but I don't have any sort of excitement for it. I'm excited.
See, I always like the Robert Downey Jr. being Robert Downey Jr. in
Yeah.
Iron Man movies. I
Yeah.
just enjoy it. It's a good time. I'm expecting to have fun. I'm a little bit, I don't want to say concerned. That's not the right word.
Yeah.
Because that implies a certain depth
I'm not
of feeling.
concerned.
But it's just a little bit like, oh, really? When I saw what they're having Ben Kingsley do with the Mandarin. Because the Mandarin's supposed to be like the great Chinese villain.
Yeah.
But he's clearly not Chinese anymore.
Yeah.
They're obviously continuing with their whole terrorist
But they're
thing.
keeping that kind of. He's at least in that style.
Yeah, but my only problem with him is that it sounds like he watched The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises and went like, all right, now I have to talk like this.
That's kind of true.
And I was like, I like it when bad guys do have distinctive voices.
Yeah.
But, and I am in no way, Ben Kingsley could blow my mind at the back of my head. He's a very fine actor.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely willing to give him a chance, but at least the way they've been teasing it in the trailers, I was like, oh, is that what we're doing?
Mm-hmm. Well, and we're recording this the Friday that Oblivion comes out. You won't get it until later, but I'm much more excited for Oblivion than Iron Man.
Yes, me too.
And the Iron Man movies, like, I like the first one, but I wasn't like, this is so good, like a lot of people were.
Right. I really like
The second one I wasn't a huge fan of because I didn't really care for the villain. Mm-hmm. It wasn't strong enough for me. So this one, when they're finally getting the Mandarin involved, I was like, all right, good. But I don't know. I mean, I'm going to see it, and I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it because I like watching Robert Downey Jr. and Don Cheadle and everybody.
Yeah, see Don Cheadle too.
Yeah, I like all the people, and they usually, Robert Downey Jr. never disappoints. So
yeah,
I know it will certainly be entertaining and fun, and which is all I can ask of it.
Right. See,
but as far as being like a great movie, I'm not really thinking that it's going to be the one. Like, I don't even own anything but Iron Man 1.
Oh, see, I own the first two. I enjoyed the second one, but that's just I enjoy Robert Downey doing his thing.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't in the first one. That was Terrence Howard.
But I mean,
do not like Terrence Howard.
But wasn't like the plot of the second movie like they're coming straight after him? And I was like, that looks like exactly what this movie's about. Like they're blowing up his house. I was like, that's the same thing.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you.
But to be fair, that's like every comic book arc as well.
Most
like,
of them.
what else are you going to do?
That's why the Dark Knight movies stand out so well, because they managed to bring something real to the table.
Yeah. And they're not trying that with the Marvel. They're trying to make them more comic book.
Right. Marvel
I appreciate their own, having their own slant.
And it's working for them.
It is, yeah.
It's definitely working for them. Like, the Avengers was really, really cool.
Yeah.
It just, in my mind, doesn't hold a candle to the Dark Knight Rises.
Right.
But I will say I am biased, as I am a Batman. Batman and Superman are really the only two superheroes I truly care about.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's true. So that would be that weekend. I'm sure it's going to be the big movie.
Right. Moving on to May 10th.
May 10th.
Well, there's only one real one here. Everything else is coming out that weekend. May 10th, my birthday.
Yeah.
Is Aftershock starring Eli Roth, another horror film because he doesn't know how to do anything else apparently. No One Lives. Haven't heard about this. Peoples.
I've heard about Peoples.
Me too. It's supposed to be funny.
I'm questioning it because isn't it a Tyler Perry production?
No, it is not.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I think it is.
Is it?
Is that the one with David Allen Greer?
It is.
That's a Tyler Perry production.
Oh.
He's not directing it.
He's just...
He's bankrolling it, so I have concerns.
Well...
But I do like David Allen Greer.
I like David Allen Greer, and I like Craig Robinson.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
There's also Stories We Tell and Venus and Serena, 2 documentaries coming out. But obviously the big one that everyone's going to be talking about is The Great Gatsby.
I'll make this prediction right now. Will come in second to Iron Man that weekend.
I imagine you're right.
Yeah.
I imagine you're right. Now, I want to talk about The Great Gatsby for just a second.
I have something to say about it, too.
All right. Well,
You're not going to like it. Or maybe you will.
I probably will. Let me just first say that I have read The Great Gatsby.
Yes.
I know what the book's about. Let me tell you, just for those of you out there who don't know, I will sum up for you the entire plot of The Great Gatsby.
This is Austin's take. This is going to be completely slanted.
This is the plot of The Great Gatsby. Dude shows up in town. He's like, hey, what's going on? Guy next to him goes, have you heard about The Great Gatsby? He's like, I've not heard about The Great Gatsby. Well, you should come to a party. Stormed by The Great Gatsby. Maybe you'll meet The Great Gatsby. Okay, well, we'll go to the party. So he goes there, and he's like, where's The Great Gatsby? Oh, The Great Gatsby never shows up at these parties. And then he sees The Great Gatsby in the window. And then he gets invited inside, and he's like, hey, I'm The Great Gatsby. He's like, oh, my God, I'm meeting The Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
Should we do this? And he's like, oh, I don't know. What's going on? So then he brings in Daisy, and Daisy's like, oh, hey, what's going on? I like you, The Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
And then he goes to his friend's house, and he's like, I met The Great Gatsby. They're like, you met The Great Gatsby? No one's ever met The Great Gatsby. He's like, oh my God, how is he? Well, he was great. So then they went over to another guy's house, and he's like, oh, what do you know about The Great Gatsby? They're like, nobody knows much about The Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
Did you find anything out? I didn't find anything out. And this goes on and on and on and on for the entire book until at the very end someone gets hit by a car, and then the book's over.
Okay.
Now,
wait, what? Doesn't Daisy do something else?
Yeah, Daisy has a kid and is a complete bitch.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to make sure. Okay. Daisy struck me as a dumb person when I read that book.
That's what I'm saying. Now, I've recently read that apparently I got exactly what I was supposed to get out of the book, because I've always hated this book. I'm like, this book is about shallow, stupid, selfish people who all they care about is wealth, and it's the most hollow group of people. And I guess because of so many people around me's reaction to the book, where they love it and they want to be part of that crowd and they want to join that party and be like Daisy or be like Gatsby, or
Yeah.
But I guess apparently the book is supposed to be an indictment of wealthy people.
It's supposed to be in the 1920s.
Like an indictment of the
social commentary on that.
On the shallow,
that society, that high society.
And if that's the case, then I actually have to stand back and go, you know what? That's a great book, because that's exactly how I felt about it.
But I would argue, okay, we get into trouble already for arguing that it's not a great book when it's considered a classic.
Well, part of the early 20th century. Nothing happens for most of the book.
Yes,
American classic.
I'm not generally a fan of books or movies when there's not a character I can relate to, and that's the problem with that for me.
Yeah, I hate everybody in that book, and Daisy most of all, and she's supposed to be the one that everybody's in love with.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is everybody in love with this girl? She is awful.
Yeah.
She has a child that she neglects. She goes out drinking and dancing.
Yeah.
She's stupid. This is terrible.
Yeah. Now, beyond the fact that you're just like, I don't want to see this because why would anyone care?
That's the only reason. Because I think
stance.
Because before you say what I know you're going to say,
yes.
I am a fan of Baz Luhrmann, generally speaking.
Yes.
I liked Moulin Rouge and Romeo and Juliet. And it seems to me like the visual style of this is very exciting and colorful, and people will like it. Now, take it away.
It's the same visual style he does in every movie.
Yes.
So there's nothing new here. It's just Baz Luhrmann doing Baz Luhrmann's thing where he's going to have like crappy CGI curtains being wiped and stupid crap like that. And then the main problem that I have is, because I can't say I don't like him because I do like his version of Romeo and Juliet. And I'll tell you why. Because he was like, I'm going to do this Shakespeare. I'm going to have him speak Shakespearean, and I'm going to do it set in, this interesting world. Okay, now that's been done by a million people, so that's something I can already accept. Resetting Shakespeare.
Yeah, you should do that.
But what he did was say, okay, this, he kind of made up a world where they could still have Verona
it was kind
and stuff.
of an urban,
but it was like an urban gang type thing.
Right.
But he was consistent throughout, so then the music is like of that style and all that. Then cut to every other movie he's made since then, where he's decided to do these stupid period pieces, yet use not period music.
Yes.
I don't have a problem with people doing that. I just happen to hate it.
Okay.
I know that's a personal opinion.
I know you're not a fan of Moulin Rouge. That one has to be an exception because there's an artistic choice in using the modern music for that.
The only reason I hate Moulin Rouge is because they got the lyrics to Show Must Go On wrong.
I know.
And there's no reason why they had to get it wrong. There's absolutely no reason why.
Okay.
They added a the. It's not the Show Must Go On. It's just Show Must Go On. And why did you have to add the?
That's silly. I want you to know that I think that this.
I do too. Why could they just leave it out? That is silly.
I think what you're saying is silly.
Well, in addition to all the bad acting in that movie, he said it.
It happened. That's fine.
Anyways, so I don't like his style because it's so like in your face. Like to me, it's just like somebody like flaunting in front of you. It's Baz Luhrmann being like, "Look at how great I am. Look at this thing I thought about. I thought about this." And the trailer for The Great
very
Gatsby,
flamboyant.
with that. Oh God, with that stupid song remake. You've seen the trailer, right? With that, who's that song by? It's like a 9 Inch Nails song or something.
Yeah.
And it's like redone differently, and I'm just like, oh my God, it just bothers me. And then he has that annoying super CGI shot of the car and the camera swinging around it, and I'm like, why can't you shoot a period piece as a period piece? Like it makes me think that maybe he's not so good of a director because he can't just make a straight movie. Like, he couldn't just do a straight adaptation of The Great Gatsby or everyone would be bored out of their mind. He has to show you all sorts of weird, flashy shit and do weird music so that you can be entertained by it.
I don't agree with you there. The only reason I say that is because certain directors, when you ask them to direct a movie, you have to know that they're going to bring their style to the movie. It's like saying...
Nobody asked him to direct anything, let's be honest.
No, he wanted to do it because he thought his style meshed with the storytelling. It's like telling Tim Burton, gosh, why do you have to keep doing that? Well, no, it's because that's his style. It's a certain thing that he does, and that's what Baz Luhrmann does. Now, I understand you don't like it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to fault him for bringing his personal style, which nobody else does, to a movie. I do appreciate that he does have his own style. Whether you like it or not. I'm not saying...
here's the difference. Tim Burton movies tend to have a look that is shared. Mm-hmm. Yet he's done a lot of different, what I would consider to be the style of movie, have been completely different.
Okay.
And he tries new things in different movies and goes, well, this movie's this kind, so it doesn't work with what I did in my last movie. Now, they all kind of have that similar, somewhat of a Skip Bleachy look because he likes that look for the cinematography. Mm-hmm. But he can change the style to adapt to the movie. Baz Luhrmann does the same thing every movie. And then when he doesn't, which is like Australia, where he tried to do it straight, it's just an awful movie.
All right. I'm not going to disagree with you there.
So I'm not okay. So I'm not.
Obviously, neither one of us are into The Great Gatsby,
but not for the same reason.
Not for the same reason.
Like, I don't have a problem with watching the story of The Great Gatsby. I have a problem with watching Baz Luhrmann.
The story of The Great Gatsby is awful.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with that either, though.
Yeah.
All right.
May 17th, we have Black Rock. That one sounded interesting to me. It's a bunch of girls out in the forest facing off against hunters.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
Is it like Deliverance with girls?
A little bit, except the girls take action.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The English Teacher with Julianne Moore. Erased, Aaron Eckhart. Olga.
I don't know anything about that one, but I'd be interested.
He's a guy and he goes on the run and people are chasing him. It's one of those.
Okay.
Francis Ha.
Sounds foreign.
It's not. It's more of an independent film.
Oh, okay.
You're not gonna like it. Populaire.
Bernice Bejo.
All right. Nice to see her back.
Yeah.
But the big one, of course.
Star Trek.
Star Trek Into Darkness. One of the movies on my list. I have a list right in front of me of the movies I'm looking forward to the most.
Yes.
This summer.
That one's on my list now.
This one's number 2.
That's number 2. For me, that might be number 3 on my list. But I think our top 3 are going to be the same 3 movies. They're just going to be in a different order.
Okay. But yeah, that's number 2.
Yeah.
No, our top 3 are not going to be the same because you're going to have Elysium in your top 3.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, and mine, that one's not in my top 3.
Oh, okay.
Although these are kind of not in any particular. But Star Trek is definitely my number 2.
Yeah, I'm into this.
I'm way into this.
I guess I'm just looking for some lens flare at this moment. And I know that I'm not going to be disappointed.
You are not going to be disappointed. There's going to be some blue lens flare.
There's going to be lens flare all over that
did
thing.
J.J. Abrams direct it?
Yeah.
Okay, then there you go.
I mean, yeah. J.J. Abrams?
Right.
Yeah, I know. People hate it when I do that. Because they love to hate Michael Bay and they love to love J.J. Abrams. And I'm like, that he got his visual style from Michael Bay, right? You guys know that.
Right. Well, I mean, J.J. Abrams wrote Armageddon, directed by Michael Bay. Yeah. Another one of our hate and his bad movies we'll talk about.
Yeah.
We've been teasing that one for a while.
I know, just because we want it to be good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm into this. I am into finding out all the speculation and stuff. Now I'm starting to shut it down though, because I don't want spoilers now.
I don't want spoilers, right?
But I was into reading who's in it, what characters. Is it going to be like Wrath of Khan? I suspect yes. That's my conspiracy theory. Is this is either going to be like a setup for Wrath of Khan, or we'll just find out that what's his name?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch is Khan, and they've been putting a fake name on him.
Now, they might be able to pull that off when I'll like it. I will, as you know, be upset if Benedict Cumberbatch turns out to be Khan.
I know, because,
Well, 2 reasons. One, I'm not a big Benedict Cumberbatch fan. He's not bad or anything. He looks like an alien. Second of all, Khan is one of the only great Hispanic characters in cinema history. Don't take him away from us.
Yeah.
We need Khan.
Yeah.
Ricardo Montalban. And I understand, like I said, I fully believe that if they do it right, I won't even begin to care about that.
Yeah.
I'll just be like, oh, it's Khan. I love this.
But in principle,
I'm just
saying.
saying.
Well, now what do you think? Because it was back, there was Benicio del Toro was like rumored, or they asked him and then he couldn't do it.
Right.
Which at that point it was like, well, it's obviously Khan.
Right.
Do you think they've changed it because
they couldn't get Benicio del Toro?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe they just were like, well.
Or maybe you're right. Maybe this dude's Khan.
Maybe he is.
And I'm just saying, if they do it right, I won't care.
Maybe Benicio del Toro's still in the movie.
Ooh.
Ooh. Anyways, I like that. And the only reason I think that is because I know that the woman...
Carol Marcus.
Carol Marcus, that blonde-haired woman who in every trailer is just screaming.
Screams. Yeah.
Yeah, she's from Star Trek 2. She's Kirk's like...
Right. Although she was in the original series as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to be good.
Right.
And I also enjoy...
I just enjoy the cast that they have, the director they have, the music they have.
Yeah.
I like everything about it.
Yeah.
And I loved his reboot of Star Trek. Did not mind what he did in terms of killing off the Vulcans.
Yeah, well, now they're going to have new Vulcan.
Then new Vulcan doesn't... Right. I'm totally on board with all of this.
Yeah.
Let's just do this.
I like that everyone's like the Star Trek and the Star Wars fans are going to have a fight.
Oh, yeah.
I'm no part of that fight. I'm like, he should direct it because he made Star Trek into Star Wars, so he should go ahead and direct Star Wars.
See, and I'm just a Star Trek and a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
I don't understand why there has to be a rivalry.
I don't either, because they're not really comparable.
No.
Because everyone knows that Star Wars ships would obviously destroy the Star Trek ships.
They're just faster.
There's lots of them.
Yeah.
They're bigger.
Well, plus, yeah. I'm just saying, it doesn't matter.
Yes, I'm aware that I just started a war.
You did.
I know.
Like, that was my whole point, is that there's no reason for it.
I know.
And then you were
That's why there's no reason.
there's no reason for it, because Star Wars is obviously better.
That's right. There's no reason, because there's no question.
You defeat the purpose of what I was trying to do.
I know, that's why I did it.
I was trying to bring peace.
I did it on purpose.
Okay.
All right, so May 24th, we've got, that's the weekend after.
Right, we got Before Midnight.
Before Midnight. Now, you're What are you? I know you have something to say about this.
I don't.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, because there's 2 other movies in this series. There's Before Nightfall or whatever, or Before Sunset, and then there's Before Sunrise, and now they're doing Before Midnight.
Night won't end.
It sure won't.
Then there's
it's one of these love stories. Do they get together? It's supposed to be artistic. And
yeah. Then you've got Epic, which is that cartoon with the miniature forest people and the slugs.
Right.
I'm not opposed to that.
No.
Fast and Furious 6.
I'm opposed to
I'm
that.
opposed to that. Filling the Void.
We just don't need any more of those. As far as I don't know. I don't enjoy those.
Yeah. There's a We Steal Secrets story of WikiLeaks documentary. And then, now this is why I question, Fast and the Furious 6, they should have come out earlier. They should have come out at the beginning of April. Because they're coming out against The Hangover Part 3.
Right. Which I probably will see.
I probably will see that just because...
I've seen the other 2.
Well, here's the thing about the Hangover movies. And this, you were talking about this in the last podcast. That's a movie where if you see it with the audience, you're going to love it much more than if you just watched it on your own. Because that's how I feel about those movies. I saw them. I've seen the first one also on TV, and I was like, yeah, it's still not bad. It's still pretty funny at parts. But I was rolling in my seat for both of those, 1 and 2, in the theaters.
Right. Even
though I fully understood that it was basically the same movie twice.
Yeah. And it looks like they're changing it up a little bit.
Yeah, but I'll probably go see it with friends.
I agree.
A group, and
it's because it's one of those that you should see in the
theater
theaters because it'll be funnier, and then you probably won't see it again.
Yeah, but Fast and Furious coming out the same weekend is bold.
Yeah,
because that's the same crowd.
It really is.
And you've got Star Trek the week before, so that's an interesting weekend there. I would have had Fast and Furious come out early April, like last week or 16th or before.
I agree.
So that's kind of a weird one. But Hangover, I'm sure will make $400 million.
Exactly. It'll be great.
Fine. Yeah.
Right. It'll be a big blockbuster.
And I doubt that I bet you that weekend it'll be number 1. I would maybe bet Fast and Furious is number 3 that weekend. I'll bet you it's Hangover, Star Trek, Fast and Furious.
That sounds about right.
I'm just going to do that every week, is do my ranking for the week now.
Okay. So May 31st then, moving on to the last weekend.
The last week in May.
We have The East, starring Ellen Page and Alexander Skarsgård.
Okay.
Don't know really much about that.
Me neither.
Kings of Summer, Nick Robinson, Nick Offerman.
Yeah, I've seen the preview for that. That's it's a CBS Films one, so it's going to be like a family film.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't look... for some reason, my family was like, "Oh my god, that looks so good." I was like, "Really, guys?" Okay. It doesn't look bad, but it just looks like a movie.
Right.
It's nothing special.
Right. There's other ones that are in that same category of that. That's just what a movie should be. That I'm looking forward to more.
Yeah.
Kings of Summer, we just discussed. After that is Now You See Me. Isla Fisher, Mark Ruffalo, Jesse Eisenberg.
What's that one? Do you know anything about that?
I read about it in the magazine and then I forgot all about it.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, then there's Shadow Dancer. I don't know what that's about. And then finally, right. And then finally, The Purge.
That's the one. I was getting The Purge and Before Midnight confused because Ethan Hawke is in them.
Yes.
But you're looking forward to The Purge.
I am looking forward to The Purge. I was going to do a trailer review on it, but since we're here now, we'll just talk about it now.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm looking forward to this one is because it has a very interesting premise.
Okay.
The premise of this movie is that it's so and so many years in the future. Generally speaking, it's the day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, it's tomorrow, and crime is reduced. Unemployment is way down 1%. Everything's happy in America.
Yes.
There's effectively no crime. Everybody's happy.
Okay.
And you're like, this is amazing. How did they do this? Well, it turns out it's because they have a system called The Purge.
Okay.
And that is one night a year for 12 hours from 6 p.m. until 6 a.m. the next morning. All laws are suspended.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you can do anything you want for 12 hours. Nothing's illegal. All emergency services are suspended. All support services are suspended. You're just effing on your own for the next 12 hours. And, they set it up cool in the trailer because you see everybody being happy and then it's like, beep, this is a broadcast to the emergency broadcast system. At the sound of the tone, the purge will begin.
Yeah.
All emergency services will be suspended for 12 hours. You're like,
it's a very good premise.
It sounds scary.
It's I'm worried that it's going to fall victim to what a lot of movies fall victim to, which is, oh my God, that premise is great. and then they don't know what to do with it after they
That's how
get
I felt
to
about
that
it.
part.
That's my main concern. And the reason I felt like that was because they set up Ethan Hawke's character. He lives in this big house with a big gate and all these cameras, and he's got, steel shutters on his doors.
This is based off the trailer, right?
Yes.
Okay.
This is just based off the trailer.
Yeah.
But he's got like this massive security. He lives in a fortress.
Yeah.
So he's obviously well-to-do.
Yeah.
At a certain, so he locks it down. He tells his daughter, "All right, we're all set up for the purge. We're going to be just fine."
Yeah.
Then this guy comes running up to the door. He's knocking on the gate. "You gotta let me in! You gotta let me in! They're gonna kill me! They're gonna kill me!" And his daughter goes and opens the gate and lets the guy in because she feels bad for him.
And then you're like, dumb person in a movie.
And I'm like, see, now we're doing things that I don't.
Yeah. Why didn't you turn the light on when you went in the basement? You tard.
Right. It's once again, and I guess I felt like because they set up the premise, instantly my response was, and maybe this is just a personal bias.
Yeah.
My response was, I don't want to see how the rich person gets through the purge. I want to see how someone like me gets through the purge.
Yeah,
where you just have
true.
to turn off your lights and sit in the middle of your living room with a baseball bat and hope that no one comes to rape your wife.
Well, and the problem is that you do see how the rich person gets through the purge, and then someone's an idiot.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's no reason for that when just the tension of having to survive the night through the purge is enough.
Yeah, but it's a good premise, so maybe it'll deliver. Maybe the trailers,
and I'm sure there's surprises that we don't know about and things that So I'm going to see it.
Idea of it.
I'm going to see it.
All right.
But I immediately felt like I wish it was just someone in their house having to live in, because that's a scary, scary premise.
Yeah, that's good. I like it. All right, June 7th.
So now we're moving on to June.
June. So you've got
the month of the number one pick for me.
Okay, Wish You Were Here, which is a Joel Edgerton. You've got Violet and Daisy, which is Alexis Bledel and Saoirse Ronan. That's a combo.
Right.
Tiger Eyes, which is my favorite title of that week. Tiger Eyes. Rapture Palooza, also a great title.
Yeah.
With Anna Kendrick.
Palooza.
Much Ado About Nothing. I didn't even know they were doing another version.
I'm
of
actually
this.
really looking forward to this. That's
Who's
on my
doing
list.
that?
That's on my list of things to talk about. It's actually
Maybe I did see it.
No. Who's the director of the Avengers? What's his face?
Oh, Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon.
I was just about to go, well, actually, it looks like a Joss Whedon based on who's in it.
It is a Joss Whedon.
He's got his buddies in it.
He does. And basically, those people showed up at Joss Whedon's house. They all hung out and shot Much Ado About Nothing, like, at his house.
Oh, okay.
It's in black and white. It seemed like...
Super low budget.
Yeah, it seems kind of awesome. Like, I really
could
want
be
to see
good.
it.
I like that.
If only as, like, an experiment type thing.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what it is. It was just like, let's just shoot Much Ado About Nothing with all my friends.
Just because, yeah.
That sounds awesome to me.
That does sound good.
And I'm kind of... I will say Joss Whedon is one of those people who consistently surprises.
Yeah.
Cabin in the Woods was surprisingly good.
It was.
That one was surprisingly good. The Avengers, if you think about it, The Avengers is only his second film
Yeah.
that he's ever directed.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's a really good movie for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's good. I like him.
So
I generally like him.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like everything he's done, but I give him the benefit of the doubt every time.
Yeah.
Then you've got
The Internship.
The Internship, which I actually was at the movies when I went and saw Jurassic Park a couple weeks ago. The Nielsen ratings people were there, and they were like, want to take a survey? And I had 20 minutes, so I was like, okay. And that's what they were surveying me on. And my response was, they were like, what about this movie? I was like, yeah, that's a movie. And they were like, do you want to see it? I was like, I don't know, we'll see if I got nothing else to do.
Right.
And they're like, well, what gets you excited about it? I'm like, not a whole lot, because they're like, well, what sets it apart? I'm like, nothing. That's my point.
Right.
Like it just looks like a Vince Vaughn, Dodgeball, like all those.
Right.
It just looks like one of those movies. And I have nothing against those movies because there's usually some pretty funny parts. You know, Old School or Dodgeball or one of those. And,
they're the type of movies where you know you're going to get at least 5 to 10 minutes of absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Followed by
very predictable,
surrounded by
very
like 90
predictable
minutes
story.
of
Yeah.
The same old stuff.
Yeah, so I'm not opposed to that. And then you've got...
I enjoy them from time to time.
Yeah, I do too. Evocateur is a documentary. Dirty Wars, a documentary. And then this interesting one here, After Earth.
I'm actually more on board with After Earth than I thought I was.
Did you read about it? Because that changed my opinion of it.
It did for me too.
It didn't necessarily make me want to see it, though.
I don't know. I probably will see it.
Okay. Let me go and then see how you can change my mind, maybe.
Okay.
Because it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Now,
right.
we just discussed last week, Lady in the Water. We like that.
Right.
But I have to say, I'm not really trusting him anymore because of like his last 2 or 3 movies.
Right.
So when I saw this trailer, I was like, uh-oh, what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
okay, oh, the twist is that they're on Earth, and then they were like, they're on Earth, and I was like, well, that's not the twist.
Right.
So there was a part of me that
Yeah,
was...
but see, I think people are making too big of a deal out of Shyamalan and his twist. He's made a number of movies now where you don't have twist. I do not expect...
He's only made one.
Which one?
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Lady in the Water didn't have a twist?
Yes, it does.
What's the twist?
It has a twist.
What's the twist?
The twist is that the story's true.
That's not a twist, though. You accept that from the beginning of the movie.
All right, there's not a huge twist, but there's a number of small twists in that movie.
Well, like a good story, but it's not like... You know,
right.
he had built a...
So he's made two without a big twist.
I don't expect him to have a twist in every movie.
He's only made one that he wrote that didn't have a twist, if we're going by that.
All right, whatever. I just
Anyways.
don't feel like that necessarily has to be in his repertoire.
It doesn't, but it should be, because apparently he doesn't make a good movie unless it has So, anyways... So I was like, and the special effects in that trailer look so bad to me. So it's another one of those where Greg's going to be like, this looks awful. The special effects look like cartoons, like Life of Pi. Mm-hmm. So I have a problem there. And then I read about it and found out that it was all Will Smith's idea, which made me not like it even more.
Oh, really?
Yes, because basically I found out Will Smith was like, hey, happy birthday. And Shyamalan was like, oh, I want to work with you. And he's like, here, read this. And then Shyamalan was like, we could do all these cool things with it. And Will Smith was like, cool, you're going to direct that. Okay. That means to me, this is entirely a premise that Will Smith cooked up so he could make a movie with his son. That's all it is.
I don't have a problem with that.
I do, because I'm not a huge fan of Will Smith's son as an actor.
He's good. He was good in The Pursuit of Happiness. He was good in The Karate Kid, and I didn't even really like The Karate Kid as a movie. But
I didn't think he was good in Karate Kid.
I thought he was fine in that. I don't have a problem with him. Plus, that's playing in, like, when I was a little kid, that was my dream.
What, to be a space commando or to be the Karate Kid?
Well, both. Both, but actually to make movies with my father. That's why I got into this to begin with.
Yeah.
It was the idea of being able to make movies with my dad.
That means nothing to me, so that's why I'm probably like, no.
Right, see, but they're living the dream as far as I'm concerned.
But I just don't like, here's what I don't like. It's the pretentiousness of it. I don't like, just because he's Will Smith and he can, I'll just come up with something out of my ass so I can make a movie with my kid. And they'll make it because I'm Will Smith and I say so. And blah, 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 blah.
Once again, sounds like you're living the dream. If you can just come up with a movie idea out of your ass and they're like, sure, we'll make it. Isn't that what
right? But you should have, as an actor or an artist or a producer or whatever you want to call him, you should have the respect for the industry to be like, I'm only going to make things that I feel are very good.
But how do you know this isn't that?
I saw the trailer for it.
But how do you know he doesn't feel that it's that?
Because he's been in good movies. He should know better.
Oh, this could turn out to be a very good movie.
Well, they'd have to really work on the special effects between now and June to make me think that.
All I'm saying here is I'm playing devil's advocate with you a little bit. I'm simply saying hating is bad.
It is.
Okay.
I'm going to continue to do it. Just like everybody else.
Okay.
No, I just don't. Oh, God, they just look bad. Like the monkeys chasing him.
The baboons.
The monkeys look bad. And they keep cutting.
I don't know. This will either be something I don't like at all or something that I really like, because once again, when I was a little kid, this type of stories, they're running around because of things like Jurassic, I would have loved it.
You know what I just realized?
Huh.
You know where I stand on kids doing adult things.
Yeah.
That's maybe what's at the core of this.
It is.
I cannot stand movies where kids do adult things and think I'm supposed to buy into it, like Chronicles of Narnia. Where, like, kids like, hey, Santa brought you a sword. And he's like, well, now I'm the best fighter there is in this world. And I'm like, no, you're not. You're a stupid kid. You die in 5 seconds. Yeah. So that's why.
I do not have that issue.
Well, in Steven Spielberg movies, kids don't do things that kids can't do.
I don't know. You seem to think that about Goonies, and Steven Spielberg was involved with Goonies.
The
Goonies.
He didn't direct it.
No, it was Richard Donner.
Yeah.
No.
Richard Donner doesn't have that rule.
Yeah, but Steven Spielberg was, like, there all the time.
Yeah.
It has a very Spielberg
I don't
feel.
like Goonies, though.
I know you don't. That's why I'm using it as an example. They act like kids the whole time, and you don't like them.
Huh? They do a bunch of non-kid stuff.
That's not true.
All right.
Goonies is great.
I've only seen it like half a time.
Okay. Goonies is one of the best movies ever made.
That is a lie.
That is not a lie.
All right, listen. June 12th, there's only one movie coming out.
This is the end.
Because I think that's a Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. June 12th, this is the end.
That's...
I kind of want to see this.
I don't think I saw a trailer for it, but I think
the reason I kind of want to see it is because it's Seth Rogen, James Franco, Jonah Hill, Jason Segel.
Yeah, that whole group.
This whole group. Michael Cera.
Mm-hmm.
The thing here is that it's an end of the world picture, right?
Okay.
which already you're like, okay, these people, end of the world, sounds like it. But they're all playing themselves. There's no characters.
Okay, now I'm on board with it.
See, that's what I was like.
I didn't know that.
Right.
They're just playing themselves
They're
as
just
actors.
playing themselves as actors. They all go to James Franco's house for a party, and the world ends. So it's all these people getting together.
That's kind of like the Much Ado About Nothing.
Yeah.
I kind of like that idea.
And they're all playing themselves, a version of themselves.
Yes.
And I think this is fantastic.
I like that as a premise.
I do too. Especially because they showed some art in there that, like, James Franco's house is decorated with, like, 2 giant posters, and one of them's freaks, and the other one's geeks and stuff like that. Like, and it's supposed to be that he painted them because he's so obsessed with Seth Rogen and stuff like that. And they're, like, big pictures of him. I don't know. That was the twist on it that made me go, all right, that sounds funny.
Yeah.
Because they're playing themselves.
Yes. So now before we get to June 14th, where we're going to have a lot to say, let's talk about the way this lines up. Because if After Earth flops,
right, that
leaves like basically a month for Iron Man, Hangover, and the other one, Star Trek, to just collect money.
Right.
If After Earth flops, there's literally
and
3 weeks of uninterrupted money collecting for those 3 movies.
Right.
It's fine with me, but
I feel like that's a distinct possibility.
I do too. Like whether or not that After Earth turns out to be good or not, it may flop.
I feel like that's a very distinct possibility.
Yeah.
Like I feel like After Earth is going to do very well around the world. And
I think
not
internationally it will do better than here because I think Will Smith actually these days does better internationally.
Well, Will Smith is the #1 movie star in the world.
Yeah.
That's why he can open anything he wants.
Right.
Is because around the world he's the most popular.
He'll make
star.
the money back in Japan and in Europe
everywhere,
and
right?
Everywhere,
necessary, even more necessarily than here.
Yeah. So, anyways, June 14th, The Bling Ring, Emma Watson, Leslie Mann. Don't know what that one's about, but I'm guessing it's about a ring.
I'm hoping.
Vehicle 19, Paul Walker. There's no way that's good.
Oh yeah, because it's Paul Walker. Do you know the premise of that one?
No.
Guy rents a vehicle.
I'm guessing there's 18 vehicles, but then he sees one more.
Well, he rents a car, gets in it, finds out that there's a tied up girl in the trunk.
Oh, isn't that movie with Jason Statham?
Sure.
I thought that was a Jason Statham movie.
Yeah.
Okay. 20 Feet from Stardom documentary.
I'm actually interested in this. This is on my list to talk about.
Okay.
Just because it's a whole documentary just about backup singers.
Oh, okay.
And they interview the stars that they back up and stuff like that. But I know at least one of the people they talk to is, I believe her name is Judith Hill. She was the backup singer / co-singer with Michael Jackson on his "This Is It" tour.
Okay.
Before he died.
That tour didn't actually happen.
Right. Before he died. So that was like going to be her big thing.
Oh.
Now she's on The Voice.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, she went on as a contestant.
Yes. And she's obviously amazing because she.
Yes.
I mean, if you get chosen to be Michael Jackson's lead
I
backup,
might have saw her because I wanted to watch it the other day because Shakira's on it, and I love Shakira.
Yeah.
And I may have seen. I've only watched the one episode, but
She's very pretty. Yeah, she's very pretty. She's the kind of. She's very good. But obviously, if you're getting picked to be one of Michael Jackson's lead backup singers, you don't stink.
No, that's true.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's her. It's other people too. They talk to Darlene Love, who sang what I think is arguably the greatest Christmas song of the modern era, which is "Baby Please Come Home."
Oh yeah.
So it's just. It seemed like an interesting premise for a documentary. Let's talk to the people you don't normally get to hear.
Yeah, that's
from.
cool.
Yeah.
And then you have a movie called Stuck in Love with Greg Kinnear and Jennifer Connelly, which I don't know anything about that other than that, but for some reason I'm like,
I know what the whole movie's about.
I know, but I find it hilarious that those are I just want to see a movie with those two for some reason. I don't know why. I'm not going to see it, but I'm not opposed to it happening.
I'm not opposed to it.
I'm not going to see it because also The Man of Steel comes out that weekend, and that's. I think both of our number one.
Absolutely.
It was not my number one until the trailer that just got released a few days ago.
Oh.
And then it was in my top 3, but I was just like, I don't know enough about it. And then I saw the most recent trailer that's like 2.5 minutes, and I was like, that's the one I want to see the most right now. And the buzz around it is that it's effing awesome.
Right. Well, I am excited for this as I briefly discussed earlier.
Yeah.
Batman, Superman. If you have those two, you don't need anything else.
Okay.
They already did Batman.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now a lot of the same team's going to get together and try to do Superman.
Yeah.
I want this. I want to go to that.
I just love the support. I just love everybody in it.
I know.
Like Russell Crowe, and
Kevin Costner. I know.
Amy Adams.
Amy Adams is Lois Lane.
And like we were saying earlier, what's his name? Michael Shannon.
Michael Shannon is playing General Zod.
Yeah.
And I know he doesn't have to, but I do kind of hope at some point he says kneel before Zod.
Oh, I think he does have to. I think they know that.
Okay.
I think he'll say that, and they'll come up with a way for him to do it differently and unique.
Right.
And maybe it'll just be understated, but he'll say
it'll just be like, step forward.
Yeah. Well, just like if in Star Trek it is Khan, there's about 3 lines that they're gonna have to say.
Oh yeah, exactly, exactly. But Man of Steel, number one thing I'm looking forward to, and I got to say, Henry Cavill looking pretty good as Superman.
He looks good as Superman.
I'm liking it.
Like they got rid of the little curl, and it works.
Yeah, I was surprised because I like the little curl.
The curl's fine, but it works really well without it.
I've been styling my hair with the little curl since I was like in 5th grade because of Superman.
No, everything about that looks fantastic.
It really does. It looks good, and normally Zack Snyder would be a warning for me.
It's a warning signal
because I'm not a huge.
There's only one movie of his that I really, really like, and that's just the remake of The Walking Dead. So I can't really say.
Oh, you mean Dawn of the Dead?
Dawn of the Dead.
That was really good.
Yeah, but it's also just like it's just a movie. Like there's nothing special about that movie other than that it came out good, which is surprising.
Right. No,
not
but
because
it was
of him,
decent,
just because why are you remaking that?
Well, right, but it was a decently remade.
Yeah.
He took it a little bit.
And I know you don't like the 300. I have no problem with the 300.
I don't like the 300, but that's just because I think a story of the battle. Either way.
But the Watchmen, I just was bored out of my mind.
Right.
And the other.
I'm just not a big Watchmen fan in general, though.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't like the guy. Like I know it's supposed to be great.
And the other one didn't do anything for me either.
Sucker Punch. Yeah.
It bloated.
I did not see Sucker Punch. I will say that.
I saw most of it until I got
bored. But it's
bored.
because by the time we got to Sucker Punch, I'm seeing yet another cartoony-looking Zack Snyder film.
He had that special effects style. Like, he picked it up at the 300 and then was like, I'm going to do this in everything. And I was like, don't. And this one looks like he's finally
this one
been
looks
convinced
fantastic.
by Christopher Nolan and company, like, no.
Right. Oh, and the storyline that they're telling
But
me
I've
about.
always thought that, like, even though I've been disappointed by his movies, I was always like, but he's got the potential.
Well, he doesn't make bad movies. I'm not going to say he makes bad movies.
Yeah.
I just they don't speak to me usually.
Yeah.
But Man of Steel, I am so freaking excited for this.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, in the trailer, the line that got me was when because he's like, goodbye, my son, and he's sending him off. Maybe we can play some of this over the.
Yeah.
But Russell Crowe has that line. Actually, his wife starts it where Lara is like,
she's like, they won't accept
him.
He'll
be an outcast.
Yeah.
They'll kill him. And he's like,
how?
Yeah. He will be as a god among them.
That's badass.
And I was just like,
because it's just Russell Crowe doing his Maximus voice.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want.
That's what I want from Russell Crowe.
That's what I want. He's giving it to me. He's got his cool armor on. They're playing little piano. I'm feeling already kind of choked up by this. Then we move on, and young Clark Kent's like, can't I just pretend like I'm still your son? And Kevin Costner with a little,
my son.
Right, gives a little choke. You are my son. Gives him a little hug. They had me.
They had you before you even saw adult Superman.
Didn't even matter about Superman. I'm in, and this is where you have to succeed, much like they did with the Batman movies.
Yeah.
You have to make me care about Kal-El
Yeah.
before I ever can ever care about Superman.
Yeah.
Same way they did with Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Yeah.
The story has to be about Clark Kent / Kal-El.
Yeah.
Before you
introduce Superman.
Right.
Because you're right. He's invincible.
Right.
Yeah.
And it seems like that's exactly what they're going for.
Yeah, no, it's everything I've read and seen. It's like they know the trappings and the problems with doing Superman because it's hard to have an invincible character that you can feel is in danger.
Right.
And it seems like they know that, and they're finding the ways to make it work.
Right. Two things I want to discuss real quickly about this movie before we move on. One, it seems to me like they're highlighting what I always thought was the single most important aspect of the Superman story.
Okay.
Which is Superman can lead us into a better tomorrow.
Yeah.
The idea, because in the trailer they talk about how, they will stumble, they will fall behind you, but eventually they will follow you into the sun, and then together you can do wonders.
Yeah.
In fact, I even wrote a treatment for a movie based on what I thought was completely ignored about Superman, where a character is, very similarly raised on Earth as a human being, but then is the one who's going to make first contact.
Yeah.
And because that's, to me, what makes Superman so awesome.
Yeah.
Is the fact that he has the potential to truly change.
Oh, and I like it in the trailer they acknowledge, like, you're the answer to Are We Alone? I was like,
Right.
they're acknowledging, like, the whole... Because they never really play up the alien thing.
Right.
And I was like, that's cool. I like playing up the sci-fi.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I really, really appreciate that. Number two, if he's not in this movie, I have a casting choice for Lex Luthor in the next one.
Oh, okay.
I want Idris Elba.
Okay. I like that. That's good.
Idris Elba is Lex
Oh,
Luthor.
and Lawrence Fishburne playing
Perry White.
I like that.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. But what do you think about that casting?
I like
choice?
that casting choice.
Yeah.
Shave his head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He kind of already does the short hair thing anyway.
Yeah. No, he'd be good. And I have a feeling that he may make some sort of appearance in this movie. Not as the nemesis.
Right.
Just as a character.
Right.
Setup. All right. So obviously that one we're super excited for.
Yeah.
June 21st, there's a movie called A Hijacking.
Okay.
There's a movie called Maniac with Elijah Wood. I don't know about that.
Yeah, he's a mannequin guy who ends up taking people's scalps and using them to...
He's like a Silence of the Lambsy thing.
Yeah.
Unfinished Song, Terrence Stamp, Vanessa Redgrave. That's like an old person movie.
Right.
Not for old people, just with old people in it.
Right, I understand what you mean.
World War Z, and then Monsters University. Those are the two big ones. I'm excited about Monsters University. I was going to do trailer review on this.
Right.
We haven't done trailer review.
This is number 3 on my list.
Yeah, okay. We haven't done trailer review since episode 1 because it's my fault. It's because we haven't been able to get the jingle put together, and that's completely on me. Which is why there's been no further trailer reviews.
There will be, though.
There will be as soon as I can find an hour to cut that thing.
Yeah.
I'm into that one. The trailer for that is fantastic because it's like a commercial for a It's like exactly a spin-off on a commercial for a university. It's so funny.
It's so funny.
World War Z, on the other hand.
These are the competing ones, and I personally think they still will get clobbered by Man of Steel.
Oh, I wouldn't underestimate Monsters University since that's really the first, other than Epic, that's the next kids movie.
Well, and it's the Pixar thing.
It's Pixar.
And they don't make bad movies.
And Monsters Inc. came out long enough ago that there's a lot of older people who will be like, I want to see that with my kids or with the grandkids or with whoever.
Yeah.
Or with when I'm babysitting the kids. I don't care what.
I know. I'm going to go see
I have
Monsters
a feeling
University.
that, Man of Steel may clobber it, but I think Monsters University they're both going to clobber World War Z.
Yes.
World War Z, I have not finished the book.
I have read the entire book. I love the book.
I've read 3/4 of the book, or actually I've listened to it on audio.
Okay.
Book. This movie seems nothing
I
like
have seen nothing in the trailers that even happened anywhere in the book.
I'm like, what is this? What are these mobs of fast-moving zombies? Where is that in the book?
The only thing I've seen that the book and the movie share is the title.
Well, because the book is like post-World War Z.
Right, and the book is very anecdotal because you're hearing
different characters,
survivors tell their... It's really quite good.
By the way, I can't recommend the audiobook of that enough because it's huge stars.
I know.
And because they're such small parts, they just had to come in for like a day or two to record these.
I've almost bought the audiobook a number of times, even though I've already read the book, just because I wanted to hear the people they have.
It's very good. I haven't finished it, but it's very good.
But I see no correlation between the movie and the book.
No, me neither.
And I personally feel like the book would have made a better miniseries.
Well, what's weird is that they have like Brad Pitt and Muriel Enos as like the stars, and I'm like, but there is no star of the book.
Right.
There's a million different characters, and you just hear, and some of them are only in it once.
Right.
And you just hear their point of view on where they were and what happened to them.
And it's fantastic.
And it's great. And then you move on. And there are some reoccurring characters, so you did have room to get some stars in this. But
well, and the book is very much... The reason I always recommended the book was because it takes what is a preposterous scenario.
Yes.
Zombie
end of world. Yes.
Right. And uses it to comment on how human beings react to
any sort of
massive tragedy,
terrorist attack or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what makes it amazing.
Yeah.
That's what elevates it above just
how do we react when there's a huge hurricane or a terrorist attack or whatever.
Do we pull together? Do we pull apart? All sorts of things. That's what makes the book better than just...
And this is just
zombies.
like action zombie movie, and I'm like, you guys are...
You missed the whole point.
But this is a troubled film.
It is.
Because this was supposed to come out like a year and a half ago.
Right.
And my understanding is they were basically like reshoot half the movie.
Right.
It's that bad. And then, so I think that what they did was reshoot half the movie and just completely take it. Whatever was left of the book is out of it now. At least based on the trailer. Maybe it'll surprise, but I'm not hoping. I'm not really feeling like I should.
Right. Either way, I'm not looking forward to World War Z, and it's too bad because I am the target audience since I love the book so much.
I know.
On the other hand, Monsters University, like I said, is number 3 on my list.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that one because at this point, I will go see anything Pixar makes.
Yeah, that doesn't crack the top 3 of my list, but we know by now that my last.
There's another one on my list that I would probably put above that, but I'm just saying on my list, it was number 3.
Okay.
Number 1 is Man of Steel. Number 2 is Star Trek.
Yeah.
Below that, it gets kind of muddy as to what order they go in.
Quickly, June 28th, last week of June, Byzantium, Copperhead, The Heat, which is a Sandra Bullock comedy that looks awful. I'm so excited. And White House Down.
The Heat's going to make money, though, because it's the director of Bridesmaids and stuff like that. Paul Feig. peak.
White House Down is just Roland Emmerich's version of Olympus Has Fallen.
Right.
And now, because I saw Olympus Has Fallen, I must see this movie.
Well, of course you must.
I must compare them.
Right.
And I feel like I'm probably going to like Olympus Has Fallen better.
I just don't tend to like Roland Emmerich movies. He tends to... There are certain directors who do things who don't feel constrained by not... Basically, they always have a moment in their movies where you go, oh, come on!
Yeah.
And Roland Emmerich always does this.
Yeah.
Always does this thing where he pushes you to the edge of what you can believe, and then just blows through it and continues on.
and doesn't even address the fact
that this is effing ridiculous.
He doesn't even have a character be like, really? I can't believe this is happening to us. At least do that.
I understand he's one of those people who kind of helped make blockbuster movies what they are today.
Yeah.
But
there's two movies that I actually really like of his, but
they're both terrible.
You don't like The Patriot?
I take that back.
Yeah.
One of them's terrible.
Yeah. I love Stargate. You hate it.
I hate Stargate.
I love Stargate.
The Patriot... The Patriot is still that ridiculous, cheesy kind of...
It's cheesy.
Yeah.
But
I love it.
It doesn't do anything unbelievable, but it's cheesy.
It is cheesy, but I love it.
Yeah.
But I attribute that mostly to Jason Isaacs and Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
And Heath Ledger.
Yeah. So we don't need to linger on that one, but
Nope.
I will see it and I will let everyone know which one wins.
Yeah.
All right, July. We got 2 more months here. July 3rd, Despicable Me 2, Kevin Hart, Let Me Explain. Kevin Hart, I think that's a comedy movie.
It is, and he is hilarious.
Yes. And then The Lone Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about that one now. I wasn't. Now I'm into it.
I've always been, but that's because, you know me.
Yeah.
Big Johnny Depp fan.
Yeah.
Big Johnny Depp fan.
I actually like Armie Hammer.
I think Armie Hammer's great.
Yeah. It looked, when they first started promoting this movie, it looked like it was just like a bloated like Pirates of the Caribbean 3-esque movie. Mm-hmm. But now the more that I'm seeing about it, the more I'm like, okay, no, I can get on board with this.
Well, if it's anything like Rango, because Rango was fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know. I for the most part, I like Gore Verbinski's films.
Yeah, I do
I'm trying
too.
to think of one that I just hated, and I can't.
I didn't hate any of them, but his worst is Pirates of the Caribbean 3.
Probably, and I don't hate that movie.
I don't hate it either.
Yeah.
It's bloated.
It's bloated,
I
yeah.
agree with everyone's complaints, and I
do
still
too.
like it.
I just enjoy it.
Yeah.
But like The Ring
The Ring I love.
was great.
Yeah.
And I'm always excited for Westerns. I feel like it's my job to support Westerns when they come out.
Yeah. Even though this is, it's kind of a fake Western.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's as close as I'm getting this year.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
I need to support it because I want more Westerns.
Yes. Well, then you need to watch the show Justified on FX.
Yeah, but that's modern Western.
Oh, but it's so good.
I believe you. I just haven't watched it.
Okay. Anyways,
The Lone Ranger, got to see it.
Yeah,
Got to see it. Got to
that's
see
on
it.
there.
Johnny Depp doing Tonto, who is, by the way, one of the great characters in history.
Yeah.
Because even when I was a little kid, and it's because my dad watched The Lone Ranger a lot when he was a little kid.
Yeah.
And he loved Tonto. He always thought Tonto was way cooler than the
Well,
Lone
he
Ranger.
is, because Lone Ranger's kind of an idiot.
Right.
Yeah.
Tonto's awesome.
Yeah.
And then, what's funny, this is just a funny little fact for those of you out there who don't know. Tonto means stupid in Spanish.
Yes.
Tonto also refers to the Lone Ranger all the time as Kimosabi.
Yes.
Kimosabi means one who knows nothing.
Yes.
So they're both continually referring to each other as stupid.
Yeah.
But I guess growing up, I then watched some of the Lone Ranger and stuff and was always enamored with Tonto. And I'm sure it's because my dad, introduced it to me that way
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then to hear Johnny Depp is playing Tonto, and he's the one who always felt like Tonto was way cooler than the Lone
Yeah.
Ranger. I was like, well, of course I'm going to see this.
Yes.
It's made by someone who agrees with me about the way things should be done.
Yes.
So I'm on board.
Okay, July 5th, The Way Back is
That-
Sam Rockwell.
It's going to be good.
I like movies with Sam Rockwell.
I like movies with Sam Rockwell too. It's going to be good. This is on my list of movies I'm really most looking forward to.
Oh, okay.
This could has the potential to be like a Little Miss Sunshine, one of those movies
Okay.
that's not very big, but really quite good.
Yeah.
So it's Steve Carell, Toni Collette,
Sam
both
Rockwell, yeah.
who work together in Little Miss Sunshine.
Yes.
Sam Rockwell, and this time Steve Carell's kind of playing the asshole,
Okay.
and Sam Rockwell's playing the nice guy. Kind
Yeah.
of a reversal from where they usually do.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's supposed to be. This is the one that I was saying. It's just a normal old movie,
yeah.
but there should be more of these a year than there
Yes. July 12th, there's a movie called Crystal Fairy with Michael Cera. I don't know about that one.
are. Yeah.
Dealing with Idiots is a Christopher Guest, Jeff Garland. It's like a comedy thing. Grown Ups 2.
Let's not.
Let's not even talk about it. The Hot Flashes. Don't know about that one.
Oh, I do.
Oh, okay.
That one's Brooke Shields, Wanda
Yeah.
Sykes, Cameron Manheim,
Uh-oh.
starting a female basketball team
Oh, Jesus.
and taking on high school athletes.
Oh, no.
Need I say more?
Nope, you can stop there. The Hunt, Mads Mikkelsen, who's great on Hannibal, as we've
Sure
been
is.
talking about. And then Pacific Rim.
I am going to see this. I'm a Guillermo del Toro fan. I know you're not. I am. There's very few movies he's made that I did not like.
Okay, first of all, let me just say this. I'm happy that that's coming out the same weekend as Grown Ups 2, so Grown Ups 2 can get trounced. That's the one thing I'm thankful for.
Okay.
I don't want to see this. I don't understand it. I don't know why it exists. And my favorite thing that I saw was someone was talking to Michael Bay, and he made a generic statement about how, yeah, there have been a couple movies that have like kind of just tried to rip off Transformers, but you know, I'm the only one who really knows what they're doing with that. Mm-hmm. And so I know for a fact one of the movies he's referring to is Battleship.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone was like, maybe he's talking about the Pacific Rim. And Guillermo del Toro was like, no, this is all my stuff. And I was like, someone's defensive.
Oh.
Like, he came out and made a huge statement, even though Michael Bay didn't say anyone's name. I was like, someone's getting defensive.
I
Because when
understand
I saw
that.
the trailer, I went, why do I want to see this when I could see Optimus Prime? And you
Yes.
didn't answer me that question.
Right, but see, I like the people who are in it because you do have Idris Elba, who's very good.
Who else is in this? He's it. He's the only one I like in that.
Right, but it's directed by Guillermo del Toro. You got giant monsters. I was a Godzilla fan as a little kid.
They look bad. Again,
I
this
don't
is
think they
one
look that bad.
This is one where he's putting monsters in the rain because he knows they won't look good if you put them in the sun.
Maybe so.
I don't get it absolutely. Okay, so here's my main problem with this movie. The premise is a 5-year-old child's premise.
Yes.
There's giant monsters came out of the ocean. Well, guys,
We better build
there's
some
no
gi-
way to fight them unless we build our own giant monsters. What?
I like that.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
that's
though.
fantastic.
There's a million better ways to fight these giant monsters.
I'm a big fan
There's a
of this.
million and a half better ways to. And then, oh, by the way, we'll take them and have fist fights with them.
Yes.
In the ocean.
Yes.
That's a dumb
Yes,
idea.
it is, and I
It's
love
awful. It's an awful idea.
it. I think it's fantastic.
I'm sure it'll be executed well. I just don't care.
I know, and that's fair enough. It's not one of the ones I'm really looking for. It's not on my list of the ones I
Yeah.
must see the most. But I will probably see this, and,
Okay.
and I will probably enjoy it.
I may or may not, and I may or may not.
Right. I'm just saying, if I was doing my Ebert review on this one, I'd be like, it's not that great, but I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yeah.
That's what I
It
anticipate.
smacks of Battleship to me, which is not good.
Battleship was awful.
Yeah.
But see, I have better hopes for this because it's Guillermo del Toro.
Well, I had hopes for Battleship because
Peter Berg.
I like Peter Berg way better than Guillermo del Toro.
I like Guillermo del Toro way better.
Oh, well, that's too bad because one of them's made a couple good movies and one of them hasn't.
One of them, you're right. Guillermo del Toro has made
Nope,
a couple
he
good
hasn't.
movies.
No, he hasn't. Turbo, July 17th. That's a Cars ripoff, as far as I can tell.
Yeah,
It's a race car. It's a race car.
It's a snail.
There's a snail.
Yeah.
There's a race car in it, isn't there?
Well, yeah. A
Okay.
snail somehow gets the ability to go super duper fast,
Oh, okay.
and then joins and starts racing in like the Indy 500
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah. July 19th, documentary called The Act of Killing, a movie called Evidence, The Girl Most Likely. I don't know about that one. It's got Kristen Wiig in it.
And
I
Annette
don't know
Bening.
anything about it, though.
It's supposed to be, yeah. Basically, Kristen Wiig's character is an author who tries to get her boyfriend to come back to her by staging a suicide. Mm-hmm. But what ends up happening is that her estranged mother shows up to help her, and then, so then they get
Okay.
more friendly.
I'm
I'm sure it'll be hilarious with Kristen Wiig and Annette Bening going at each
Yeah.
other. That's bound to be good.
Yeah. Only God Forgives with Ryan Gosling and Kristen Scott Thomas.
Apparently, Kristen Scott Thomas is killer in that movie.
Okay. Red 2. I
I'm
wanted
upset.
to like Red so much.
I
and
did
didn't.
too,
I
and it was
didn't.
so bad.
It wasn't good. And then R.I.P.D. So the two I want to talk about are R.I.P.D. and The Conjuring.
Yes.
Conjuring, I'm completely on board for because I loved Insidious and I loved the original Saw, and this is that guy.
I know.
And I'm just on board.
I am too.
I'm gonna go see this.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
go
like
see
it.
it.
It's
It's
got
one of the
Vera
only-
Farmiga, Patrick Wilson. Like I'm in.
It's one of the only horror films that I'm going to go see this year.
Yeah, me too.
Because I told you I was selective about them.
Yes.
And you know what? I'm going to give this one a shot.
I'm into this one a lot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see this. I'm really excited for that one.
Yeah.
R.I.P.D. The premise for not the premise of the film itself, but just who's in this movie and what they're doing in this movie seems like one of the greatest things I've ever heard.
Oh, see, I'm about 60% there.
Jeff Bridges playing
Love it.
Guy from the Western Times.
Love it.
And then you got Ryan Reynolds, who I don't have a problem with.
I do not like him.
I don't have a problem with him. Then I saw the trailer for this movie yesterday. So having read about the movie, I was like, I don't know.
It sounds bizarre, but awesome.
It sounds bizarre enough to be awesome, and Jeff Bridges, he usually picks pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
Then I saw the trailer, and I was like, Jeff Bridges is trying, but this, again, bad special effects, because they're chasing down, creatures.
Right.
And the creatures are all, humanoid. They look awful. Bad special effects. Now, it could be the early trailer. They're not done yet. Could be that. Sometimes it is that. But it looks like it turns into a not intelligent. If it was made as as a smart movie, it could be really good. But It seems like it's not. So I'm not holding on.
Well, I'm just not. I don't want any more of these movies where Ryan Reynolds is he's supposed to be the hot young brash cop who gets teamed up with someone.
That's his only character. He's being typecast, Austin, and you were just talking about that.
That'd be fine, but he's a terrible actor.
I don't think so. He's fine.
Okay. I shouldn't say he's not a terrible actor, but
he's fine.
I don't tend to like him, especially when he's doing his quote-unquote Ryan Reynolds thing. I'm not saying I haven't seen him do good things. He has. But it's usually not when he's like, I'm Ryan Reynolds.
All right, July 26th.
But obviously some people are liking that.
Yeah.
Because they keep giving him work.
Yeah.
So bully for you, Ryan Reynolds. You go get it.
Yeah. Let's just do the rest of July here all at once.
Yeah.
There's the Smurfs 2 that's coming out July 31st. Don't care. So you've got a movie called Blue Jasmine with Alec Baldwin, Cate Blanchett.
That's a new Woody Allen movie.
Oh, it's Woody. That makes sense.
Yep.
Okay, well, I won't be that interested in that theater anyways. Fruitvale. I don't know anything about this one. Do you know anything about Fruitvale? It's okay if you don't.
I read something about it, but I forgot. I can see images from the trailer in my head.
Yeah.
But you're not going to like it.
A movie called Passion with Rachel McAdams and Naomi Rapace.
Oh, that's a what's his face?
Nicholas Sparks.
No. No. It's a sexy thriller. Who did?
Oh.
It's I can't think of the director's name. Very big name director.
Oh, okay.
He always does the sexy thrillers.
Brian De Palma?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was right.
Yeah. Brian De Palma.
Okay. Stranded, Christian Slater. That one, I don't know. I'm just laughing at that for no reason.
That's the one where Christian Slater and people are stranded on the moon.
It could be good.
Except
it's Christian Slater. And then The Wolverine would be the big movie here at the end of July.
See, I want to like this because I really like Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, I want to like it too.
I just don't have high hopes.
Well, they're just pretending like the other Wolverine movie didn't happen, right?
Yes, thank God.
Okay, that's good. Maybe this one will be better.
Maybe.
I really have no opinion about it.
Yeah.
All right, we're finally into August, the final month of summer. Mm-hmm. Why don't you do August 2nd?
August 2nd, we have Two Guns, Mark Wahlberg and Denzel Washington.
I haven't seen a trailer, but I'm into this.
I'm into this too. It's two guys.
They're being badass. I like it when Denzel's a badass.
Me too. What's not to like about that?
Yeah.
300, Rise of an Empire. We're doing It's a concurrent story. Well, it's kind of, but it's also a concurrent story.
Yes.
To 300 because
it's based on the graphic novel that's not called Rise of.
No, it's called Xerxes.
Xerxes, yeah.
And it's about the naval battle with the Athenians.
Oh, right. Yeah, the big naval battle.
Right.
Could be cool, but I know you hate the style.
I do. Yeah. Which is weird because I like the graphic novel.
Yeah. Another great title coming up here.
Cockneys versus Zombies. I'm kind of like I'm a huge zombie fan.
I'm sick of zombies,
but I'm
now.
sick of them.
Yeah.
I was a huge vampire fan, but I don't want any more vampires.
Yeah.
But with a title like Cockneys versus Zombies,
you know it's going to be funny.
I may have to at least check it out.
I'll have to look into it.
Yeah. And finally, on August 2nd, releasing is The Spectacular Now, which I have. I feel like I should.
I like Shailene Woodley though.
Yeah.
I loved her in the
Descendants.
Yeah. Two Guns will be what I see that weekend. I will not.
Oh,
I will
the way back. Remember?
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Oh, I realized one of the reasons I wanted to talk about that. One reason I think it'll be good is because it's written by Jim Rash and the other guy, the two of those guys who wrote The Descendants.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They have.
That's why you're feeling like it's a little Miss Sunshiny.
Yeah.
Okay. That weekend I will definitely see Two Guns before I see the 300, but I may end up seeing the 300.
Okay. Sure.
August 7th, Percy Jackson, Sea of Monsters. I don't know. Which number is this? Is this 3, 4? How many of these have we made?
I think it's only the second one.
Is it? Oh, okay.
But It's a whole book series.
Yeah.
If you're a kid, go see it. I'm sure you'll love it.
Yeah. All right, August 9th is my other top 3 pick, Elysium.
That's the last one on my list.
And you've also got In a World. Don't know anything about that one.
No.
Lovelace, which is...
the Linda Lovelace story.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
It just sounds depressing.
Yeah, it does. Planes, which was going to be straight to video.
Right.
And then now they were like, let's get more money. That's
It
just
might- usually, though, when they do that,
it's
it
a
might be
Cars
good.
version with planes. Yeah, maybe it was good. I'm sure Pixar was making it, so they were probably like, "Whoa, this is better than most of the movies that we make."
Right.
And then We're the Millers with this Jennifer Aniston
That's
comedy.
that's the one with her and Jason Sudeikis
Yeah.
running drugs across the border.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like another one of those
It's just
movies.
a movie that you know what happens every second.
Right.
But Elysium looks fantastic to me. I don't really know that we need to dwell on it. Just go watch the trailer. It looks amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited actually for Charlton Copley playing a madman. I'm excited about this.
Everybody in that looks great.
And it has Matt Damon. I'm a huge Matt Damon fan. I'm a huge Jodie Foster fan.
Yeah.
But I'm a huge Matt Damon fan. Let me just. A friend of mine recently said something that I hadn't thought about, but it turned out to be entirely true.
Okay.
If you take almost any movie that Tom Cruise has done,
And put Matt Damon in it?
it's better.
The only one except for maybe Top Gun.
Except for maybe Top Gun. Exactly. That's exactly what we were talking about. Yeah. Like Minority Report was the one we were actually first.
Oh, man.
And I was like,
I love that movie, though.
I do too.
Yeah.
But with Matt Damon, I'd probably love it more.
Yeah. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, so Elysium is looking great to me.
It really is.
looking
Science
really-
fiction, class warfare.
See, now this is what I'm talking about.
Original.
That's how you do special effects. Just
Yes.
watch the trailer for that and learn why I think some special effects look awful and some look great.
Well, and I have to say that Neil Blomkamp,
He knows what he's doing.
he
with
knows
those
what he's doing
effects.
because you give him $10 million, he'll give you a $50 million movie.
Yeah.
You give that's what he did with District 9.
Oh, this movie I think is 150,
And it looks-
it looks like it was more expensive than the Avengers.
Yeah. So I have to tip
That's
my
what I
hat to
love.
Neil Blomkamp. That's what you should be trying to do. Is
Yeah.
make a movie that not only is every dollar on the screen,
There's
but
more.
They're right. They're getting
and
value
They filmed on like the world's largest trash dump.
in Mexico. Yeah.
It's disgusting.
It's- yeah.
Everyone was wearing rebreathers except for the cast because they had to walk
Right.
around in it.
And they're like, "Oh, we're dirty." At
He
the end of
takes
the day.
he takes a $150 million movie and just goes to the trash dump.
Yeah.
Everybody else would have been like, well, we'll just put a green screen up.
Right.
No.
Now he knew what he was doing.
All right.
I'm excited.
Yep. And I think from here it's pretty much downhill.
Yeah, well, because that was there's a few little hits here and
Yeah,
there, but for
there's
the most part,
There's a couple of things of note.
right.
Do we want to go week by week, or do
No,
we
we're
want
just
to point
gonna
out
finish
a
this
couple
out.
from the rest of it? I think that Kick-Ass 2 is worth mentioning. I didn't think they needed a Kick-Ass 2.
I did not see the first Kick-Ass.
I saw the first Kick-Ass, and my opinion of it was I loved that movie until 2/3 of the way through it, at which point it just turned into every other movie.
Oh,
But Nicolas Cage was fantastic in that movie. This one has Jim Carrey, and it looks like, again, it might be a movie that's 2/3 good. So it might be worth watching at some point, maybe not in the theaters, for me at least.
okay.
A lot of people really love those movies, though.
Yeah.
What else do you see here that you want to point out? I don't know what The Colony is about, but
I feel like I should.
I feel like I should.
Well, it's got. I remember reading about the colony and thinking, "Oh, that sounds interesting."
Yeah. There it is. Underground bunker when a new ice age begins.
Oh, that could be
It
good.
could be like a low budget, but awesome.
It's Lawrence Fishburne, which I like.
Yeah, and
but Bill Paxton, which I don't.
See, I always can give Bill Paxton the benefit of the doubt.
You know what I think whenever I see Bill Paxton in a movie?
Game over, man.
Game over.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with him.
He was all right in Apollo 13.
He was all right.
I stand by what I said.
All right. I don't have a problem with him. Let me see what else I would want to.
The World's End. I'm interested in.
Are they? Is that their next movie? Simon Pegg, Nick Frost.
Yeah.
Are they directing and writing that?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's their next one, and Martin
Martin
Freeman's in
Freeman.
it too.
Yeah.
Like I just don't see how I could go completely wrong with that.
Yeah.
But you can.
You can go wrong.
There's that movie Paul.
There was. That's true. I think that's about it.
What, you don't want to see One Direction? This Is Us.
I don't. Turns out.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that is them.
It is them. No, the only last one I was considering was Don John, which does not have a specific release date yet, but it's supposed to come out in August. The reason I was interested in that one is because it's written and directed and starring by Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think there's a trailer for that
And I was like,
saw part of.
I
I'll give him a chance. It'll be like the 500 Days of Summer, even though he didn't direct that.
No,
I feel like
that was
that's-
Mark Webb, but right.
That's his type of deal.
Yeah, but this one's apparently it's going to be a little more gritty because he's dealing with how we're all connected but not connected.
Yeah.
So it sounded pretty interesting.
Yeah. That's it.
So yeah,
We've reached the end of the summer.
That's
so
our summer
that's
movie
what,
preview.
where we stand. Some of them, I know I took some extreme positions, people.
Yeah.
And
But maybe if you comment on Facebook, we can address that.
maybe I'll apologize. You never know.
You never know.
It's
You have to ask
unlikely.
for it though.
Yeah.
All right, so that was kind of that. Now you should have a better idea of what's coming out this summer, what to look forward to, what not to look
Yes.
forward to. Well, look forward to everything. Why not?
They're
That's kind of the attitude I take.
I mean, the thing that I look forward to is basically starting, I would say this weekend, and this weekend being the weekend that Oblivion's coming out.
Right.
I will now be able to go to the movies every weekend.
And see something good.
Through the second
something.
week or so of August. I'll be able to see like a great big summary. Not necessarily a huge summer movie, but I'll be able to see, this is when the movies come out.
Right.
There's something I want to see every weekend starting.
And then it's going to be lull again until you get about Halloween.
Yeah, and then you're starting to get you get a couple horror movies, and then you'll get all the Academy Award wannabes.
So this is an exciting time, folks. This is an exciting time. Get out there. Let us know what you think about the movies as we go by.
Yes.
If we hit one,
we'll hit them up as we see them, I'm sure.
Right. Exactly. And
so what's next week's topic?
Next week's topic is an important one.
Okay.
It's an important one. It is financial life.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was next
school.
week or the week after next week.
It's next week.
Okay.
Financial life after film school. Just giving you kind of
We'll give you our perspective, because obviously everyone's different.
Of course. We're going to give you our perspective.
I think that there's a lot of people that share our...
I do too.
Our style of what we did.
Yes, and it's at times bleak and at times uplifting.
Yeah.
But we'll let you know kind of what you can expect if you're not one of those rich kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're trying to make it on your own.
Or you don't already have some connection coming straight out of film school.
Right. And if you do, then bully for you.
Yeah. So that'll be a deeper subject.
Yes.
So as always, subscribe on iTunes. All the links are on the Facebook page or on our website, which happen to be facebook.com/FITB Podcast and fillintheblankfilms.com.
Right. And don't forget to watch our video enhanced podcasts on YouTube at youtube.com/FITB Films. And
And then you got the Twitters.
Of course you got the Twitters.
Greg here at GPL Films.
Yeah, and you can send me a tweetie at AustinJD14.
So that is the end of episode 7. A little special episode for you, but we'll be back with our regular format with the segments and all that fun stuff
next week
in a bit.
Have a good summer, folks.
All right. See you later.
Go to the movies.